Good morning everyone, welcome back to our distance learning program. So in this second session, we are going to study the Speaking to the 3A book. And everyone, do you have the book with you right now? If you have the book with you right now, please open your books to page 61. Here on page 61, everyone, as you can see on page 61, this is the lesson that you are going to study today. Because on the whiteboard here, there are two pages that we will cover in this video. So the first page is on page 61, and the lesson is interview about making food. As you know, this is the speaking lesson. You need to speak a lot in order to improve your speaking skill. Because in this book, you are taught many different skills regarding to the speaking technique. You learn how to give description, you learn how to talk about the process, you learn how to support your reason by giving more detail, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of techniques that you have learned from this book. However, I clearly remember what I told all of you. If you learn all the techniques in the book and you have never applied what you learned in the real world situations, there will be no improvement. That is why in the book they design this type of activities in order to help you to be able to speak. So everyone, I hope you open the books right now on page 61. Very good. What are you supposed to do on this page? What you need to do is to imagine that you are the people who will be asked by the reporter. And there are only, let's say, 3 questions that the reporter will ask you and you need to respond back to. Here, they are talking about a place that smell wonderful, and they talk about the dishes. What you need to do is to form a questions by yourself. Let's say the reporter, you need to form the question is, what is the first thing you do when making? So imagine that what food that you like and what food that you can make. Let's say frying egg or boiling the egg. It is very simple, right? So you just make a question. Let's say, what is the first thing you do when making a frying egg? Okay, and then you pretend you will answer those questions by yourself. This one is a very short activity, and I suppose all of you are doing this activity at home by yourself, because the main focus of this activity is to help you talk about the process of doing something, which is the main focus of the lesson on unit 3, right? Very good. When you finish, you can move on to the other pages, which is on page 62. That is what we are going to learn today. And on page 62, which is the review activity, what you need to do is to look at the picture here. Those are the food that some of you have never heard of. Some of you have never seen this before. Even me, I've never seen or know any of these food. Some of these food are strange to me. I've never heard of, I've never seen this food before. But this is a good opportunity for us in order to learn about other people's food outside the countries that we are living in right now. Before we start the main activity today, you need to understand what you will do after the video lessons finish. So what you need to do is to look at the food, try to guess what country it belongs to, and below there are some of the keywords that tell you about the ingredient or the process of making those food. So look at the picture and try to guess what food is this, what country does it belong to. But before we move on to those activities, I would like to present you some of those food, which is a little bit difficult and a little bit confusing because we have never seen those food before. They are totally not in our country. You might ask, why do we need to learn those food? Alright, in case one day you might travel across other country, you might go to Korea or you might visit Japan someday, at least you know what is famous food of those country. So in today's video, you are going to learn 6 food belongs to 6 different countries. So everyone, are you ready for those vocabulary? Very good, let's start now. Here on the board, I have 6 food on this side and the definition of those food on this side. Here, let's start with the first one. We pronounce it couscous. 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 So the word couscous is a type of North African dish. A type of North African dish served with vegetable and meat. As you can see in the picture, that food it made from fruit. Okay. The second one is fondues. Fondues. Okay, fondues. So this one is a Swiss dish. So Swiss refer to people who live in Switzerland. Okay, and they eat the dish with bread and milk cheese. So people in Europe country, they like to eat cheese. So as you can see in the picture number 2, that food, they have a bread, a small bread with the fork, and they dip it in the milk cheese in order to eat. And they also include wine in that food as well. Number 4 is falafel. Falafel. So this food belong to the Middle East country, one of the Middle East country. It made from chickpeas, and this chickpea is a kind of fruit which is very small and the color is yellow. And they form it into a ball and then they fry it with the oils. So the Middle East country, which is the Israel. So this is their favorite or famous food in Israel. Number 4, which is kimchi. If you are the Korean drama fan, you might heard this word before, or you might have seen this dish before, which is kimchi. So kimchi is a spicy cabbage. It is simply a cabbage with a special ingredient, and they mix it together. And it is the national, national dish of Korea. So this one is very popular in Korea. Everyone knows the dish. Last but not least, we have the word sushi. So sushi refers to a Japanese dish with rice wrapped in seaweed. Okay, do you know seaweed? You can find under the sea. Served with raw fish. So the special about sushi is people in Japan, they like raw fish, which means the fish that is not cooked. So in Cambodia, we eat a cooked fish. But in Japan, the famous food we call sushi, it's famous because people there eat raw fish. Raw sea fish, okay? Not the river fish, but the sea fish. Last but not least, we have keys. So this word is a little bit difficult to pronounce. It sounds okay. Key. Keys. It's from the French words. So it is a French dish that filled with egg, cheese, cream, bacon, etc. And the shape of this dish is similar to pie. Okay, it is round and flat. It's similar to pizza as well, but this one filled with a lot of egg, cheese, cream, bacon, and some of the spicy ingredients. So as you know all these food, you have some idea what those country favorite food of. Okay, and if you have an opportunity one day to go to other country, for example, let's say Tunisia. Tunisia is a country of in the North Africans, and what food you should order when you go to the restaurant? The favorite food, the famous food of the Tunisia is couscous. So you should order this one. Or someday you might go to Japan. What food do you want to try? Definitely sushi, isn't it? Very good. So as you know all these food and their country where it's belong to, it is a good idea to learn about each of those food, how those food are being made, because it is totally news to us. We have never seen or heard of this kinds of food before. As I said, it is a great opportunity for all of us to learn about this. Now everyone, after you know the definitions and the country where those food come from, it is a very great time to look at our exercise, review exercise on page 62. Now everyone, let's look at the books on page 62. As you can see in the books, there are 6 different boxes, and in each boxes they give you a keywords, and then they give you the food. You need to name the food and name the countries. So let's start with the first box: milk, cheese, garlic, pepper, and wine. A piece of bread, a fork dipped into the cheese. So what types of food is this? Sure, it is fondue, and it's belong to. So fondue belong to the Switzerland. So the food is fondue. The country is Switzerland. Very good. Let's move on to the second box. We start with round ball. So when you hear the word round ball, you know what the food is. Falafel, and this is belong to Israel. Box number 3, a small grain of wheat mixed with boiling water becomes soft, served with vegetable and meat. What is it, everyone? A small grain of wheat mixed with boiling water becomes soft, served with vegetable and meat. Okay, so this one is couscous, and the country it belongs to is Tunisia, because it is one of the country in North Africa. Let's move on to the fourth box: fresh raw fish. This one is very clear, right? Because only in Japan people eat raw fish with their food, which is sushi. So the food is sushi and the country is Japan. The fifth box: spicy side dish, different kind, cabbage, spicy sauce. So the word cabbage, it can give you the hint to one of the national Korean dish, which is kimchi. Very good. Last but not least, we have pastry case filled with egg, cream, cheese, bacon, and spices, hot or cold. This one belongs to French, and the food is cheese. Very good, everyone. So now at least you know the type of food and what is famous for those countries. Alright everyone, so this is the end of the video lesson, and I hope to see all of you again in the next video. Goodbye everyone.